the day, this tournament is about what team can get hot the quickest and what team has the best, I would say, guards in order to win this whole tournament. Offensively, I believe, according to the metrics, I believe you have to be in the top 10 in KPOM ratings for offense. And if you are not even in that vicinity, or maybe it's top 20 in KPOM ratings. I know there's a lot of like nuanced stuff that goes on in the KPOM ratings. So we're going to be looking at each matchup in the first round at least, and then it kind of builds on to the next thing that we'll talk about. And before we do that, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Again, all this stuff helps out the channel tremendously and lets people know that you're interested in this channel. Again, we are trying to grow this channel to be something special, something cool. And obviously with my season being over, it allows me to spend a little more time here on the channel. And again, like I do apologize that the streams have not been consistent. We streamed last night a little bit about the Cam Reddish news. Hopefully you guys did get to enjoy that just a little bit. And we're going to quickly just move on to the other stuff. I just want to make sure that there is nothing of note, I would say, in terms of the NBA news and rumors and basketball opinions. Alabama claims the top overall seed. Nothing really too crazy. Damian Stoudemire, congrats to him. He's going to be leaving the Boston Celtics, unfortunately for me, but fortunate for him that he's going to get a great job coaching at Georgia Tech. I'm not sure if he's an alum from there, but it is cool that he is going to be doing that because Stoudemire was also a candidate to become the head coach of Arizona before they hired Tommy Lloyd. So again, well-qualified coach, getting an opportunity, can never hate on a guy for getting an opportunity, man. So congrats to him, Damon Stoudemire, for getting an opportunity at Georgia Tech. I know that he's been looking to get into in the college game, it looks like, because he tried to go to Arizona. But I'm glad that he is able to finally get that job at Georgia Tech. So it is a fun thing to watch and admire from afar. So again, congrats to Damon Stoudemire, as he is now officially the head coach of the Georgia Tech. I believe, what are they again? The Yellow Jackets? Is that what they are? I can't remember. Let's see. Georgia Tech mascot. I think they're the yellow. Well, let's see. What are they? The Ramblin' Wreck. But I believe they are the Yellow Jackets. I believe. Yep, Yellow Jackets. All right. With that out of the way, of course, you guys are here none other than to watch this NCAA tournament. Find out who's going to be in your bracket, who's your winners, who's your biggest losers, and which teams got seeded very high. I think that there's a lot of conversations to be had about each and every one of these teams. And again, I have notes here. I've did a little more research. Again, I promised you guys more research. I did it throughout the day, throughout the night. And I really wanted to get a good sense of these teams and really get a good sense of, what team is really bound to make a big impression for everybody here in the tournament. So without further ado, let's get started here. And like I said, before we get started, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Again, all this stuff helps out the channel tremendously and lets people know that you're interested in the channel. And everybody, here we go. This is officially going to be my bracket for the NCAA tournament. Me and my friends have created this group. We're going to go through it. We're going to really get into who I think is going to win and things like that. But without further ado, let's get started here on the charge as we move on to the first round. Alrighty. So for my first pick, obviously we have Alabama versus, I can't remember these two teams. I know one of them is a Texas school, believe called the Islanders, the only school I believe in college basketball called the Islanders. So that's a team that I think will potentially make it. But at the end of the day, we all know that Alabama, they won big in the SEC tournament. They're the most informed team right now. Offensively, defensively, they are one of the best teams. I think if we look at the KPOM ratings, they have a defensive rating that's, outside the top 10, but it's still a great rating. We also know that Brandon Miller is, whatever you think about his situation, he is obviously one of the best players in college basketball. And when you have one of those type of guys on your team, you're guaranteed to win. I got Alabama winning this game. Can't tell you the spread because I'm not really one of those guys that does a lot of sports betting, but I could probably tell you it's going to be big. I'm probably going with the plus 10 for Alabama moving forward. Next, we have Maryland and West Virginia. Again, this is a team for an 8 and 9 seed going at each other. 21 and 12 for Maryland and 19 and 14 for West Virginia. You know, you would think that West Virginia would be kind of like a little bit of a topsy-turvy team, but my concern with Maryland is that it is a very weak Big 10 conference. I'm not too sure what they're going to be doing this tournament. They're very up and down. They're in the mid 30s for their K-Palm ratings. Again, nothing to sneeze at. Very solid ratings, but at the same time, I'm going to go with an upset here. I'm going to go with West Virginia winning here. I just think that they play in a much tougher conference, and you'll kind of see a theme here with my bracket in a sense, and I don't want to spoil it for the rest of it, but you're going to find out a particular bracket. You're going to find out a particular pattern or, things I like or dislike about a certain conference, and you'll find out what conference that is relatively soon. Let's see here. We got Charleston versus San Diego State. I think San Diego State wins big. Charleston's okay, but I just don't think that they are a strong enough team. I know that they're 31-3. I know they have won a lot of games, but if we look at the BPI ranks, if we look at their conference ranks and points per game, I know that the metrics say that Charleston is going to be a good team in this conference or in this game, but I don't know what type of teams they've been playing against in their conference. So I'm going to go with the obvious choice here. I'm going to go with San Diego State winning, but I'm not too convinced with the Aztecs for them to move on past this round, maybe as we move forward into the next game. The next game we have is, of course, Virginia versus Furham. Virginia, I feel like, is the biggest fraud 4 seed in this tournament. I watched them play in the ACC. I am not convinced with this team whatsoever that they are a team that really can carry and propel a team past maybe the second or third round. My worry for them is offensively, they are outside of the top 70. And if you know anything, like I just said earlier, you know that you need to at least have like a top 20 K-Palm rating, and the guard play needs to be outstanding. I don't necessarily see that from Virginia. Now, does that mean that Furham is going to be a team that beats them? Probably not. I think that they are a team that has never played a top 25 team. Their BPI rank is abysmal, 92 in the country. I know they put up a ton of points, but they also give up a lot of points. And again, I think that if there was any chance of Furham beating a team, I think it would be this Virginia team. The reason why I think Virginia is probably susceptible to a upset is because offensively they struggle. And when you're a struggling offensive team, it is tough to get buckets. But I just think that ultimately, I think Virginia does it. I think Furham is just not strong enough yet to compete with this Virginia team. I got Virginia winning this round against Furham. Now we got Creighton versus NC State. Creighton is a top 20 team defensively, top 30 offensively. I just think that NC State kind of snuck into the tournament at the very end. They're a solid team. They're probably the best Carolina team in this tournament. You know, obviously with UNC being out and, being fraudulent in their season. But I think Creighton should win this game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think Creighton will win this game. I don't necessarily see this game really going any other way. And of course, Creighton plays in the Big East, which was a very tough conference this year. Even though they're 5-7 versus the top 25, the Big East is a strong conference. I have no doubt in my mind that Creighton will do the job. They score a lot of points. They also defensively do a great job, like we talked about in their K-Palm ratings. It's got to be Creighton. Now let's move on to, let me see if I can find it. Utah State versus Missouri. I think that this is going to be a very interesting game because I think offensively, I see it from Utah State. Like offensively, they seem very solid. Again, 0-2 against the top 25, so that's a little bit of a concern. Missouri, 6-4. I think that that's got to say something about it. I just think that also another thing that kind of goes against Missouri's luck in this tournament, I would say, is, and it's really the luck. Like according to the K-Palm ratings, they were one of the luckiest teams out there because of how close some of their games were. If you watched or looked at some of them, they were single-digit wins. They were just kind of pull-it-out games, especially, with the free throw line game kind of being strong with this team. I think that this could be a upset alert, and I got Utah State winning this game by a big bunch. One game I actually did forget to mention was, of course, the Baylor and the Gauchos of Santa Barbara. I think Baylor wins. My concern with Baylor is that defensively, this is not the same team that it was a couple years back with Davion Mitchell. They're strong offensively, but defensively, I think that they are not good. I just think that also the thing that kind of hurts the Gauchos a lot is that they are ranked 175 in the K-pop defensive ratings. Like, that's got to tell you something. They're not a very good defensively sound team, and this is definitely not one of those teams that could potentially make an upset. They're not a great three-point shooting team. I don't think that this is a team that could potentially take it further than having a nice first-round exit. It was nice to see you, Gauchos. I got Baylor winning this game by a decent amount. I think that this is going to be I'm going to say that this is going to be a 15-point win for the Baylor Bears. I could be totally wrong, and feel free to call me out in the comment section if that is completely wrong. Arizona versus Princeton. Again, Arizona, top 4 in the offense, top 50 defensively. I think that this is a team that could potentially be a dark horse for winning this whole tournament. What I like about them the most is that they have good guard play. They have solid bigs. Tommy Lloyd has done a great job at the Arizona program. They're one of the only 2 teams I really trust in the Pac-12 right now. Them and UCLA are the only 2 teams. I'll kind of spoil my UCLA pick a little bit. I just don't necessarily see it from Princeton. I think they're okay, but when you're offensively outside the top 100, it's going to be tough to beat these teams. And you can clearly see that when we look at points per game. Arizona scores a lot more. They may give up a little bit more, but they are 6-1 against the top 25. Tommy Lloyd's got this team cooking on all cylinders, cooking with grease. Meanwhile, the BPI rankings for Princeton is very low, and in conference they're 10-4. And again, Ivy League versus Pac-12. I know the Pac-12 isn't as strong as it used to be, but I got Princeton losing to the Arizona Wildcats. I got Arizona winning. I want to say that this is going to be a double-digit loss. I'm going to go with a 15-point win for the Arizona Wildcats. And people, let me know what you guys think of the South region. I'm going to break these up into little videos. Let me know what you guys think of the South region. Do you guys agree so far with my picks? Give me a yes or no in the comment section down below. Give me a 1 if you like them. Give me a 2 if you dislike it. And also let me know who your biggest sleepers are in this league. I would love to know your comments and opinions in the comment section down below. And I guess I might as well just finish this. Alabama for sure is going to get in there. I don't see them not making the Sweet 16. I think that they're just too strong. San Diego State, I think, squeaks by just because, again, Virginia offensively is just very suspect. I don't see them winning at all. Creighton could potentially make a deeper run, so I got Creighton in there. I know that they're, Baylor's offensively is still down. They're still one of the better teams out there. And so to me, I just think that the Baylor Bears defensively are just going to lack between each other. And again, if we look at the numbers here, I just think that this is going to be a toss-up game, man. This is going to be who's going to make the most shots. I trust Creighton a little bit more. I just feel like they have this type of chutzpah to get them through it. And that's the reason why I have Creighton winning, even though Baylor, again, played in a very competitive Big 12 conference, obviously with Kansas and Texas. But I got Creighton winning that game. And then I got Arizona winning. Arizona's going to win. They're going to make it to the Sweet 16. And then if we're going to keep going, we got Alabama winning it. And then we got Arizona going into the, I believe, the Elite Eight. I just think that they're going to be doing it. And then surprisingly, I got Arizona winning and going into the Final Four. I just have a feeling about this Arizona team. I think after last season, after getting a little bit of embarrassed in this tournament, I just think that they're going to make a little bit of a comeback. And so I got Arizona as my first Final Four team out of the South Conference. I know Alabama has the home court advantage. I know that they're playing very well. But something about Alabama at the end of it is going to be off. I think that when we look at it, 6-1 versus 7-4, I know that there was a lot more top teams in there. But when you score the same amount of points, I mean, this is, again, another toss-up game, but okay, I just trust the coaching of Tommy Lloyd here to get them through. So I got Arizona going to the Final Four as the first team. Let me know if I'm right. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comment section down below.